Hi everybody, this is Michelle with Creative Operation, and I'm back for another installment on our series to show you how I made the pages for the Tall Skinny Mini. We've already done pages 1 and 2 on YouTube. The binding and the cover were done on my blog, creativeoperation.blogspot.com. Today we're going to do pages 3, 4, and 5. And let me remind you what these pages are going to look like. So we've already done page 1, we've already done the page 2. So today we're going to work on page 3, which will consist of this skinny pocket page and this piece, and then another skinny pocket page, excuse me. Then we're going to work on the basic piece for page 4, which will have that piece and this piece, okay? Then we're going to work on page 5, which will have this piece and then this small pocket piece. All right, so let's get started. Get this out of the way, get my papers ready. So page number 3 is pretty easy, and I'm going to show you again like I did the last time when I did the videos. 2 different ways of doing it, and of course, what did we do here? Oh, that's what I did. Okay, so one side I already actually put together, and the other side I left so I could show you how it is. And let me make sure I'm in frame here. So you're going to take a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and you're going to score it at 2 inches, and at 6 inches, and then at 10 inches. Okay? And then what you're going to do is on the 2-inch pieces here, you're going to go down 5 3/4 of an inch and score across to the first score line, and then a 1/2 inch here. Okay, and on this side, and I apologize for it, I did it exactly the opposite. So the first part was 5 3/4, the second part was 5 3/4, and then the 1/2 inch tab was up here. Okay, so it's exactly the opposite, and you'll see what I mean once we put it together. So then when you do that, what's going to happen is these 2-inch pocket pieces, that's what's going to make your pocket. So you fold them up, and then the 1/2 inch tab here goes behind. And that creates this separate little pocket page piece. So what you'll do is you'll put glue on this edge and on the top edge so you can glue your pieces down. Okay, which is exactly what I did here. And then that creates a nice little pocket, so you could put a small tag in there. And then this whole piece folds like this, so that if you were watching the other videos, then this whole edge becomes the piece that you bind to the spine of the book. And then we'll glue the bottom part here so that what that'll do is create the pocket piece for up here. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like when you use cardstock and then pattern paper. And pardon me for just a second, I'm trying to keep my pieces all in order. So again, I took a piece of cardstock, let's get that in frame, took a piece of cardstock, and on this side, again, scored the cardstock at 5 3/4, then 5 3/4, which gives you a 1/2 inch here. And then you'll have the 4-inch panels here, and then do it on the other side here, except do it the opposite. So you want your 1/2 inch tab up here. Okay? And then it's easy when you do the cardstock pieces, I should say this, when we're making our little pocket flaps on the edges, it's the best to fold them like this, because then that way this edge here that you're folding up to make the pocket doesn't compete with this crease right there. If you were to do it this other way like this, you're going to have some problems with this edge competing with the crease, and it won't line up right. Okay, so you'll want to make sure that you put those folds towards, I guess you would say, the back side of the piece. Okay, so again, then I covered it with paper. This one, you don't have to worry about covering it first before you do any gluing or folding. You could totally glue it all together and then put the pieces on, because they're all separate. Once you get the actual pocket pieces done, then you fold it like this. This inside piece becomes the binding. We're going to glue down here to create the long, tall pocket so you can stick stuff up in the top there. Okay, and then the last piece I want to show you on that particular one is how it looks if you use just a plain pattern piece of paper, and then don't then you don't have to cover the cardstock with anything, because you can totally do it all in one shot with a pattern piece of paper. Again, I went ahead and created this pocket already, so this one's all done. Folds are the same, the scores are the same, 2 inches, 6 inches, and 10 inches. And then at 5 3/4 and then down to a half, and then again opposite on this side. The only difference, if you're going to just go with the pattern paper, is you want to make the folds opposite for the pockets. Remember how we talked about this crease competing with the cardstock? Well, it's going to do the same thing here. But if you fold it the same way with the cardstock, you're not going to get the contrasting paper. So you have to fold it the opposite way in order to get the contrast. But what you're going to want to do, and this might be really hard to see, but there's just a very thin sliver of paper that I cut out here, so that when I fold it up, it's just inside the score line, so it won't compete with the crease when you fold it. Okay? I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know, because I totally will answer the questions. But so anyways, that's what the piece will look like if you do it with like a piece of just plain pattern paper. And again, that's quicker and easier because you don't have to cover a piece of cardstock. All right, so that's page number 3. Let's go to page number 4 now. Page number 4 is really super simple. It is basically just a trifold piece. Let me, again, get my papers out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be all organized, but sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so it's just basically a trifold piece of paper. 12 by 12 sheet of paper, score it at 4 and at 8. You accordion fold it like this, and let me see if that shows up pretty good. And of course I picked beige paper with a beige tablecloth, so that's great. This is the binding edge here, so this is what the piece that's going to stick to the spine of your book, so that when you have your page in your book, it's going to turn like this and like this. Okay, so you'll end up with just a 4-page, no extra pockets except for the pocket that ends up there. Okay, pretty basic, pretty simple. So showing you with a piece of covered 12 by 12 pattern, or 12 by 12 cardstock. This is how I laid it out. When you fold it up, this is going to be page 1. Here's your binding piece again. Then it'll open like that, and then here is the opposite side. All right? And then, pretty obviously, doing it with pattern paper is going to give you the same kind of effect, a lot simpler because you don't have to cover cardstock to do it. So I took a piece, I scored it at 4 and at 8, accordion folded it up. This becomes my binding edge and my tall pocket. Then when you turn the page, this is what you're going to get. Ta-da! Page 4. Pretty simple. Last but not least, page 5, and this is another play on these side pockets that I've been making. Just another way to do it, another way to get a different pocket. And then remember, with any of these pockets, you can totally, like some of them are one-sided, you can absolutely totally make them on the opposite side of the page too. All you got to do is reverse it. That's it. Okay, so this is page number 5. Scored at 4 and at 8. This piece right here is going to make a mini pocket page. So you're going to go up 5 3/4 of an inch, another 5 3/4 of an inch, and then a 1/2 inch tab. When you fold it, this piece right here is going to create the binding piece. This piece will fold like this, and it will make your mini pocket page. So again, binding here, close the tall pocket here, makes the tall pocket up here, then you've got your little mini pocket page with the pocket. It turns like that, and then it will turn like that. Alright, so then doing it with cardstock, and I went ahead and glued it down. But cardstock again, do it at 4 inches, do it at 8 inches. This piece right over here is going to be your pocket page. When you fold it up, binding here, pocket, tall pocket, and then your book will open like that. Okay, then again with the patterned paper, I scored it at the 4 inch, I scored it at the 8 inch. This piece was scored at 5 3/4 here, and then another 5 3/4 up here. Sorry, you have to use your imagination on this one because I already glued it down. 1/2 inch tab up here. They fold down, and again, remember, when you do it with your cardstock, you want to fold it so that the cut edge is on the outside here, because then it doesn't compete with the crease. But when you're using pattern paper, you want to fold it to the inside, because then that's where you get your contrasting paper, because you can see, you know, the other paper is in the inside. So if you want the contrast here, then you're going to have to cut out a teeny tiny little sliver on this edge only, so that it goes right inside the score line, so you can fold it without any problem. Okay, so that's page number 5. I hope that made sense. Pretty fast, pretty simple. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll put some information, links to my blog that's going to have some more information as well. So I will see you again next time with the next installment. Thanks a lot. Stay crafty, everybody.